anytime we do anything out of this office, we have to literally insist that our guests just get up.
Yeah.
Because I cancel out the air conditioning and then it's like every third word drops out. So I had to edit some of it, fix a little bit of it.
Right.
But today is what, Monday the 13th? Yes, today is Monday. It is the 13th. We recorded an episode with Derek Osborne, a.k.a. Doc. And
Last week.
That will air not this time, obviously, because we're talking to you now. How could that possibly happen? Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier. We recorded an episode with Derek Osborne, a.k.a. Doc. And
Last week.
That will air not this time, obviously, because we're talking to you now. How could that possibly happen? It'll be the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because we're not going to be in the same general vicinity to talk anyway.
No.
And probably have a lot of stuff going on that wouldn't let us have a time. But hey, good thinking ahead, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Andrew Bauman.
What are you drinking there, bud?
I'm drinking a 12 West Zona Pilsner.
Aha.
I understand that they did some good things.
It was brought to my attention that 2 Arizona breweries scored best beers for 2023 in the Beer and Brewing magazine. 2 Arizona breweries out of 20 beers. That's pretty impressive.
Okay.
That only leaves 18 other beers. We have Wilderness.
Nationwide, though.
Arizona Wilderness Jitterbug Perfume.
Yeah. That is no longer available.
Oh, it's a good thing I have some in my fridge.
Yeah. It is at Total Wine, though, I understand.
Huh.
So
wild.
it's no longer available at the brewery, and they said they sent their last bottle off, and I noticed that it's interesting because like they didn't really like lean into it until they just said 100 out of 100 beerandbrewing.com. That's all they said. They didn't even list the beer. Like you had to go, like it was on a sign. It was
maybe this is a strategy of some kind.
I don't know. It's a humble brag, right?
I'm going to read it.
Okay, yeah.
The first thing you see is the color. You can't miss it. The clear bottle broadcasts the captivating intensity of magenta, courtesy of a hefty beer beet edition.
It's the beet beer. I think I've had it because I can never
We went over after the, when we went to the Belgian beer movie viewing.
Right.
We went over to the.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we had it.
This trend of packaging lightly funky, colorfully fruited, low-hopped beers in clear bottles is a vivid way to connect them with the energizing cohort of natural wine drinkers. It's also encouraging to see more brewers expand their horizons with beautiful-looking beers that connect with a different audience. There's more.
I know. That's fine.
Yeah.
I would never pass a beet beer up, though.
I would never pass a beet beer up myself.
Okay,
I had one this week.
Total Wine. I might have to go there.
Okay, let's move. Let's continue.
Okay.
12 West Radial Spines. And that is it's a hop forward lager. We couldn't be more excited about the recent evolution of hop forward lager, and this is the second year in a row now that one has landed in our best 20. The intersectionality of the style is its strength. Taking the conceptual framework of Pilsner, lager fermentation, subtlety, and nuance, great drinkability and regionally available ingredients, and marrying that to contemporary hops, whether you call it West Coast California or New Zealand Pils, or even if you called it cold pale ale. The effect is the same. Lean beers with ultra pale malt bodies designed to showcase hops without the overtly intensity of IPA.
I still don't understand it, but okay.
It's a cold IPA.
I mean, we're just getting rid of.
It's an IPL. It's a cold IPA.
We're getting rid of yeast-driven fruitiness.
Yeah.
And we're replacing it with
a bunch of hops.
Hop forward or fruit forward hops.
I gave you a little more info. Radial Spines does exactly this, melding typically spicy herbal pills hops with oranges, zest, and a bit of tropical floral. But it keeps the levels down to a range that never fatigues, and that more polite volume, more detail becomes apparent. American brewers aren't known for their restraint, but the hops here are measured.
Okay.
I think American brewers are now known for their restraint.
Yeah, I think it's a pendulum. It's swinging different directions, but it depends on where you are.
It's a pendulum that goes like those kids on the swings that go around and around.
Oh yeah.
And they just go out like this.
They fly off.
Back in. Yes.
Yeah, no. No, I do get it. You can arrive obviously in a number of ways to get to the same flavor profile. I get it. I just as we discussed, I think last week, it's like cold IPA. It's technique. It's not. I guess it's marketing, right? Oh, you don't like ales? Maybe try this lager.
Try this hoppy lager.
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, we're not drinking those beers, so
we don't have them.
Thanks for painting
sad news.
A picture with those.
I don't think either of them are available at this time. So.
No. Total Wine. We're gonna go check it out, and we'll ask Gully, and I can put in a show note.
Yeah,
if it's available.
I had the smooth transitions. That was delicious.
Yeah. But it's the week of another festival, and we have gone 243 days as of today without measurable rainfall in Phoenix.
Yeah.
This is in Scottsdale. I don't know if that's the case in Scottsdale. I mean, there might have been a trace that was measurable and wherever they measure their weather in Scottsdale.
It's okay, man. Just go
243 days. So it will be 248 days potentially. But I understand that we might have some rain. It's like 4% chance.
Thursday night going into Friday, I believe, is the highest chance.
Right.
Snow in Flagstaff.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. My shoulder just felt it again.
From pulling on the roof or from shoveling on the ground?
A little both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah. So we were kind of discussing it figures we had, one of the warmest festivals, and now we're going to get a chance of rain. But, we came around this is ridiculous. That would be awesome. It would be amazing. And we just came off of, the Phoenix Rising winning. It is soccer weather, right? Overcast, 70 degrees, maybe a light mist in your face.
Beautiful.
Right? So, wear a jacket, have a jacket available.
Bring an umbrella.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
bring out your Gore-Tex shoes.
If you're a brewery who's going to be attending, bring a second tent.
Right. Yeah.
No one ever says you had too many tents at your festival.
Yeah.
Ever. Even if it's sunny, even if it's cloudy, bring 2 tents every time.
I wish I would have saved the footage, man. There was the weather news stories. If you're not familiar, if you're listening somewhere else, when we have weather, i.e. rain, it's like a big news story.
Anything other than just a regular sunny day.
Right. Even the rain gets more than the intense heat wave we had going on. That was national media reporting on us. And then we were pick that up as a story. Then the story wasn't the weather. The story was the national media picking up on the hot weather. Rain here. Yeah, we own that. And there was a story on people lining up for Black Friday. And they set a camera down to take pictures of people in line waiting outside of Cabela's Bass Pro Shop.
Okay.
And none of them are dressed for the rain. Oh. These are outdoors people and they're just standing in the rain, within regular clothes.
Well, maybe that's their buying.
Yeah, no.
All of them were there for rain suits. They had a $10 deal on rain suits.
I don't know. We sort of puff our chest out about our independence here in Arizona and our resiliency and our self-reliance, and then we go and stand out in the rain in because, like we go back to grade school and like, oh, your mom sent you in a raincoat? Yeah, no. I just prefer to walk around in my wet tennis shoes and, soaking wet clothes.
Yeah, I know. I do carry rain poncho in my car at all times. It's no lie. I also have a full-size umbrella in there. It's really in there, though. I could never get it out, but it's in there.
Yeah. I've got one or two. Well, I have every one of my coats apparently
stacked up here on the couch. Sure.
Yeah. Because we couldn't control the air conditioning for a while.
Yeah.
Till I just started mashing buttons.
It's hot now.
It is warm. Warmer. But anyway, bring here's the thing. There is grass there, like actual grass, and I'm sure it'll be cut low, but
very nice. Beautiful.
But if you're the type of person that doesn't like to have wet toes, wear closed toe shoes if you're
it's going to be 70 degrees. Everyone's going to be in jackets and sweaters.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it does rain a little bit.
I would be pretty happy about that, too.
I would like to feel the rain on my face, beer in my mouth, and maybe the sun peeking out towards the end when we're taking down so we don't all store our equipment wet.
That would be great.
Yeah. Little breeze. Mm-hmm. What does it look like? Southeast 6 miles an hour, if I'm looking at this correctly.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a perfect day for a beer fest.
But let me tell you something that I learned in the, the 15 years that I've been going to festivals or so, like beer festivals, and the 10 years that I've been running them, is when the temperature gets colder, and it doesn't have to be significantly cold, it just has to be noticeably cold.
The temperature goes like this.
Right. It's around 65 degrees or colder, depending on where you are. But for us who are, those of us that are used to having warmer temperatures, you can get something called cold diuresis.
Yes.
And that is the sensation that you have to pee because your body says, oh my gosh, it is cold. I need to conserve energy. And so we need to get rid of all this water.
Yeah. Let's get this waste out of here. I ain't got the energy to keep that hot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got caught up in that. Our standard rule, which the person who was running our festivals had used for 20 years, we had an outdoor festival and
restrooms.
Yeah. Restrooms became a problem.
And because it got colder than standard.
Right. And it hit everybody at about 3:00.
Ooh.
So there's not going to be a problem with this because we're using the
beautiful facilities
brick and mortar,
right? But Salt River Fields at Talking Stick.
Yes, but
actual flush toilets.
I don't often say this, but when you have that urge to go from now on, you're going to think of me.
Oh, great.
You go,
I won't. I've heard this story. I don't think of you. But if I was at a cold beer festival, I would be like, he did it again.
I just got a text from Tom Allen, the official brother-in-law of me.
Yeah, our number one listener.
He's very upset about the Cubs signing Craig Counsell. Is
he still going on about that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I said,
sorry,
he sent a picture of Craig Counsell in a Cubs jersey. And I said, hey, we have some good news. Ray Anderson from Sun Devils got fired. And he just sent back, maybe he'll go to the Cubs. That is a very specific joke. I don't know if he listens anymore, Tom.
What? Don't say that. Of course he listens. Come on.
Well, I got to give him these Easter eggs every once in a while to keep him going.
That's right.
But that's the weather. Shall we look together at the breweries and stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about the breweries that are going to be there. That's pretty cool. Oh, you have one of those touchscreen screens?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've had that.
The aforementioned Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company will be there. They will not have that beer. They may, I don't know what their lineup is, but they may bring some of that terroir beer that they made for the Terroir Fest. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool.
It is barrels, bottles, and brews. They definitely like to highlight those more niche things. Also attending are Grand Canyon Brewing Company,
I believe,
and Distillery.
Yeah, I believe they'll be doing their distilled stuff.
They're doing at least one. They're doing both. Huss Brewing Company, Uncle Bear's Brewing Grill. Uncle Bear's have been there since the first ever one.
This is the 5th anniversary.
5th anniversary.
And they're very excited about it.
I am
Sean
too.
and
It
Matt.
is. It's pretty cool. Old Ellsworth Brewing out of Queen Creek. We've got 8-Bit Ale Works from Avondale. The Beer Research Institute. Oh, I went there.
Yeah. Well, there's two things. We'll talk about these guys, Old Ellsworth and Beer Research as well.
Oso Brewing's going to be there.
And we can,
Crooked Tooth Brewing Company's going to be there. Walter Station Brewery. I'm just noticing right now, several of these are Black Friday outlets.
oh, okay.
So I won't have to make all these journeys as much as I really thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got
That's pretty nice.
We'll talk about that after the break.
Okay. Phoenix Beer Co. is going to be there. Bonehouse Brewery. Brewery 602 is going to be there. Amazing. I'm so excited.
We should explain what that is, right?
Sure. Talk about it, Rob.
That is Marcus Pena. I think that's his name. He's the home brewer, but he also makes beer and has collaborated with other breweries. But you were telling me he's
been working at Patent 139 a lot. There's also a brewery, 260. And that's in Heber Overgaard.
that has nothing to do with anything. It's just a
Except
number.
that the names are all so similar, it's painful to me.
Yeah. Well, the telephone company got away with it for 100
That's
years.
true. You're right. Dark Sky Brewing
This is a
Company is
lot of
going to be
numbers,
there.
though.
Simple Machine Brewing Company is going to be there. Patent 139 Brewing Company. Throne Brewing Company is going to be there. This is very exciting.
Yeah, and then we'll go to the for those that are going to say that they don't prefer beer or they're gluten intolerant.
This is one of the more fun aspects of this festival, and they've been doing it since day one. Their intent was always Arizona beer, Arizona wine, Arizona cider.
Right.
And spirits, sorry.
Yeah. Now, there's not any wineries at this point producing grape flavored wine, and I there are reasons for that in terms of where they're cycling and what the weather pattern and when they had to harvest and what their availability is. I'm sure, as a general aside, this year has been a different than most. However, it is wine and spirits are because of the model they have and because of the festival model that they've had, and because of the scope and their ability to produce at volume is different than us. They do less of the festivals where they just straight up give away product. Now, yes, they can do to-go sales. However, this is on tribal land, and tribal law says that they cannot have any to-go sales.
They cannot.
There's no to-go beer, wine, or spirit sales on almost every reservation, at least in Arizona that I can think of. Not even in the grocery stores. So if you're going up to Canyon de Chelly and you go, oh, there's a Bashas', let me pick up a 6-pack, you will not be able to find any beer, wine, or liquor section in any store like that.
Or if you go to that Target right by the Salt River Fields at Talking Stick,
Right.
no beer. If you go to the gas station, no beer.
And if you go to a bar, a number 6 license, which is normally able to sell you to go, they will not. So you cannot buy to go from a casino, as an example, which has the license to do it. Now, there are places that are adjacent to reservations, and it's obviously more prevalent in Metro Phoenix. But as you get out into northern Arizona, it's a problem. And so I don't know. I would just say just respect that they don't want that product there.
Right.
So, if you bring stuff, keep it in your room and enjoy it as you would respectfully. But anyway, but they do have these other wine-based offerings. Wine is defined in Arizona statutes. Farm-based products that are not grain. That's really the dividing line between wine and beer, believe it or not. So, Drinking Horn Meadery out of Flagstaff. Cider Core out of, where are they?
Mesa.
Producing? Mesa. Okay.
Oh, they're doing an expansion. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. just don't forget. Bad Booch, they're contracting out of Tucson, but they might have moved around it. But it'll be good to catch up with Austin and maybe get that story from them. Superstition Meadery, Proskett's and Other Points. They just actually celebrated their anniversary for being in downtown Phoenix a couple of weeks back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with Puro de Lo Alto, but
let me tell you about that.
Okay.
They
you do know them. Yes.
they were at this event last year, and they were also at the Arizona Craft Beer Awards Festival. And it is a local tequila soda maker. And they have a few different flavors, and they're really tasty. And sometimes you just want a little break from beer. It's perfect opportunity. Again, just a couple guys. Mm-hmm. It's really nice to see the excitement that these guys have for their product. It's cool.
Right. And then Below the Rim Meadery, which you've talked to them quite a bit.
A few times, sure.
I'm not sure what they're up for this year. I think they've officially closed their tasting room for the season about this time of year. We'll have to ask them. They just basically outdoor based tap room.
Too cold.
Yeah. I guess check the website or with them, but it seems to me that was that's the reason that they can justify coming down the valley here to support this festival, because they're not doing anything
right
particular to serving. But if I recall last year, if you're a home brewer, they had this awesome setup where they had like a ton of things on tap.
Yeah, they had like 15.
Right. They had the 2.5 gallon or 3 gallon corny kegs. So it's a commitment. I mean, it's a lot of parts to clean and keep track of and all that stuff. But instead of just hitting you with 2 or 3 things, they're giving a wide variety.
It was cool.
And I hope I didn't oversell that, because if they said, hey, no, we just brought 2 things.
That's how it is.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what we've learned. You shouldn't rely on us for all of the information of all the things you do. Because, we missed out on giving everyone the heads up about some of the beet beers, and I do
several
know
events that happened this weekend that we didn't know about until we're in the middle of this weekend.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about that next?
We can talk about that next, but
we should take a break.
We should take a break, unless there's anything else we need to cover about.
We could cover the spirits.
That is all I have, other than.
I thought they had a page for spirits. No,
the link isn't working.
Oh, shucks.
So
maybe at the top.
No, the link isn't working, and I didn't confirm with Sean.
All right.
That. Maybe I can confirm with him during the break. But the aforementioned Grand Canyon, they'll have stuff, and if you go there and you look and you're looking for bottles, and it's going to be in a can. They're going to bring their canned cocktails when they bring stuff. They're going to be
pouring shots of whiskey.
No,
it's
going to be
they've done
that before. So,
and they might do it this time again. We don't know. We don't know. That's up to them.
Is that all I got? Yeah. Already talked about that. Okay. So we'll take a break. I'll see if I can confirm with Sean.
Great. All right. Welcome back.
Hey, Andrew Bauman.
Everything go well for you out there? We don't have to Andrew Bauman, hey, Rob, at the beginning of a break.
Oh.
We did miss it once, so.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Hey, Rob.
Oh, Andrew. I'm not even going to do it. I don't even do it the same way.
All right.
We were just talking about what news is out there, and then...
I do have one piece of news.
I do too, but okay, go ahead.
It is Rob Fulmer's 10-year anniversary tomorrow as the executive director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. Rob Fulmer.
Thanks for announcing it to dozens of people.
Congratulations and thank you.
Hey, cheers.
I mean, it takes a lot of sacrifice to do this job.
Mm-hmm.
And
not just your
for
liver.
10 years is a long time.
It is a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect I'll have to say some things at some point, but not today.
Okay.
Yeah. So generally, the way news cycles work. If there's good news, it would have came out a week ago, 2 weeks ago, so that there is a cycle of people writing and doing stories or whatever's going on.
Talking about it on podcasts.
Right. If there's bad news, it's going to get buried probably Wednesday or Thursday before Thanksgiving. So it's understandable why there's not beer news right now, per se.
We do have one M&A story. Blake's Cider purchased Austin East Ciders and became Blake's Beverage Company. They own another cider company in Oregon, and that makes them almost national. Yeah, so that's a thing in the cider business.
Well, speaking of Oregon, Ecliptic Brewing Company, John Harris, the guy that wrote the recipe when he was at Deschutes for, Black Butte Porter. He was the brewer at Full Sail. For the last 10 years has been doing his own thing. You could get his beers recently here in Arizona through a distributor here, and he came to our Strong Beer Festival this last time around.
Cool.
And enjoyed himself. And anyway, they quickly had a meeting and said, we're closed. And the holding company that owns Ninkasi bought the brands, but they're going to close their physical brewery/brew pub. So that happened a couple weeks ago, but I think that was, or a week ago, I think that was completely unexpected. So that does happen occasionally. There's also this news story that's been going on that 17 or 18 truckloads of Twisted Tea disappeared from Memphis's City Brewing Distributing, because Boston Beer is the holding company for that. 32,000 cases of Twisted Tea went missing, and they equate that to $800,000.
Nobody knows for sure just how much was taken in the daring pre-dawn raid at the Lufthansa cargo terminal at Kennedy Airport. The FBI says $2 million. Port Authority police say $4 million. The city cops say $5. Lufthansa has not said anything, but they promised to break their silence soon with a press conference. Covered live from the scene of the heist at JFK. It looks like a big one, maybe the biggest this town has ever seen.
17 or 18 truckloads of product.
Yes, Twisted Tea.
And that's, the Twisted Tea is a really funny story, but
where do we think that went?
It never went. Oh, where did all that 17 to 18 truckloads go? I don't know. Well, how would you unload it?
Right. Well, that's just it. It's
there's no reason to steal something if you can't resell it unless you're going to drink a lot of Twisted Tea. Maybe they're having an epic party in Detroit.
And we always talk about beer is heavy. I mean, like, that's not beer per se, but it is heavy.
Same heaviness, yeah.
Yeah. I would suspect, but like you're in the middle of the country.
Yeah. Memphis.
Like here's my guess. It's on a cruise ship or it's going international.
I was going to say they were driving those trucks across the border somewhere.
I think
tough. Into Mexico, easy. Into Canada, tough.
No, I'm thinking cruise lines to the Bahamas and then parts elsewhere. That's my prediction. I'm not very good at betting, as we understand, because we bet on the Rangers. We should have bet on the Phoenix Rising.
Yes, we should have bet on the Phoenix Rising because they won.
And they had to win every elimination game. It was probably the most elimination games won by any sports franchise, and at least in my memory, on the road, and then going down -2 on the penalty kicks, and coming back and hitting 4 straight and getting the save on the last one. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So actually 3 out of 5. Sorry, not 4 straight, but. That's the beer news and the soccer news and Rob's terrible.
The Twisted Tea news. The other thing is that Twisted Tea is the leader in the category called alcoholic tea, which is not a big category, but they're everywhere. And their competition is like someone pops up and then it disappears, pops up, disappears. And they just like dominate that entire category. It's pretty amazing. And they put no effort into it.
I don't know the exact quote, but basically they got Jim Koch, Boston Beer Company, to just basically say, there's someone out there, trying to do a competition for us. I have no idea why anyone would even bother. I don't know why they'd even try. It was so, it was a quasi Bond villain, because, whatever they were talking about, was just a blip.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. There is nothing you can talk to me about that I don't already know.
And by the way, I've talked to him and met him. He's a very sweet guy. Probably that's how he puts the knife in your throat. But
they do the Brewing the American Dream, and I'm absolutely positive that's his pet project. That doesn't just happen because they come up with it in marketing.
Right. Hey, are you ready to talk about? I know it's a little bit out of order. Ready to talk about Black Friday?
Let's talk about Black Friday.
Okay, because you have all the details.
I do.
And I have scant details.
So Black Friday, Strong Beer Festival, Arizona Strong Beer Festival. I'm really leaning into the Arizona Strong. We're trying to get away from strong beer because
there's just a lot of beer.
There's a lot of beer, and I have brewers, I have consumers, I have everyone in the world that is involved in this event thinks it has to be high alcohol beer. I've had breweries say, I can't do it because I don't have high alcohol beers to bring.
Right.
That is not, it is about being Arizona strong. We're talking about a community of craft brewers in Arizona, not the beer being strong. Yes, it used to be like that. Yes, I'm trying to change it. But our logo is very helpful because it says Arizona Strong, and then it says Beer Festival in barely legible words. So that is my mission. It is Arizona Strong Fest, not Strong Beer Fest.
That's fair.
If you have an opportunity, listeners, please help me with this mission.
It used to be the Strong Ale Fest. And then there were breweries that got hung up on that because they made a Doppelbock, which is,
strong lager.
Yeah. Strong lagers. And lagers can be strong too.
So funny. They'll call anything an IPA, but.
So we're going back to the people who have it locked in their mind that it has to be a certain way, it has to be a certain place. And we love tradition. That's why one of the things that I tried to do when I tried to break the mold, and we have had some success, is strong in tradition, strong in flavor. I think when things were happening in the 90s and early 2000s, they were the barrier to break was, let's see how strong of a beer we can make.
It's true.
The barrier now apparently, or after that, was what weird ingredients can we throw in? And I think we're sort of beyond that right now. So now we're like, what? How can we make everything an IPA?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or how can we?
How to have an IPA Doppelbock?
Right. So we're at a crossroads with that. So I thank you for doing that because we do have people who once in a while, so if you're a brewery I can't do this because the people complain, You're talking about the same people who give you the 1 star because they said you had all IPAs, and for a fact you didn't have all IPAs at your place. Or there's always going to be people who are going to resist change. And the funny thing is, the most ridiculous part of this is no one is forcing anyone to drink a beer that they don't want to drink.
Right.
So the Hefeweizen, the light lager, is not for you. That might be for the friend that you brought, that maybe wants to go a little light on everything because they want to be able to hang with you and hold your hair while you're. No, they want to be able to make sure that they have a good time on their own terms. And there's no beer shaming, right? So there are enough strong beers that any one person could sample.
They could use all of their tickets on strong beers if they want.
So, but we've tried to sort of. it's cultural change takes a long time. So
Right.
it is like 10 years. But
Working on it.
yeah.
I mean, you've been working on it for a while.
Yeah. We've done. Here's what I've noticed. I think, and especially after the pandemic, I think people reevaluate what they're really there for. And I do see more people agreeing with me. It's not about the beers; it's about the people and talking and networking and remembering what you enjoyed and coming up with a travel log where you're going to go to next, or where you're going to visit, or what are you going to try to buy the next time you go, instead of blankly looking at a bunch of labels you don't remember. Maybe you can recall a conversation that you had. So it's more about that than it's ever been.
I even had a brewery ask me if we brought something that was limited, like we would have to pour that during VIP hour, right? No?
No. People can do whatever they want in this
Yes.
festival. Our members can pour whatever they want to pour.
Whenever you want. You
Yeah.
can make a 2:00. We're tapping this magic thing, come back at 2, and then you can get your picture with your super giant line and all that stuff.
Right.
Black Friday.
Yes.
That is the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We have several breweries who are signed up to promote that, and they will have I'm giving them some extra stuff to give away. I don't know if that's going to be to the server who sells the most tickets. I don't know if it's going to be to random guest who puts their name in a jar and bought tickets there that day, and then they select that guest name. But lowest prices of the season, tickets are going up immediately after Black Friday, and it's your last chance to get the best deal.
Right. We'll also have some items to give away. I can't really say what they are going to be.
What?
Oh, we'll go through our
At AZ Barrels, Bottles, and Brews, we're going to have a booth.
yeah.
And that's where you'll get the Black Friday price plus opportunity for other cool shit.
Right. But I'm just saying there'll be some things at some of the participating breweries to give away besides the things you talked about. We'll
Right.
just have to go through and find some rando stuff.
Yep.
But those locations are, do you have that list handy?
No, just pause for a second.
Oh, no, we can't.
Okay,
pause.
keep talking for a second.
We had a break for this, and neither one of us got up. It's okay. I could have. I'll go grab a poster. How's that?
Cool.
We will have to edit this now.
Yeah.
What is this?
I mean, we don't really have to edit it.
I'm gonna take some of these anyway.
I have Button Brewhouse in Tucson, Walter Station Brewery in Phoenix, Desert Monks Brewing Company in Gilbert, Dark Sky Brewing Company in Flagstaff, Saddle Mountain Brewing Company in Goodyear,
Yes.
and Smeltertown Brewing Company in Prescott. No,
Cottonwood.
No,
Clarkdale.
Dale. Yeah, we're fired. And Simple Machine Brewing in Glendale and Phoenix. Yeah, look at that. I made a poster. I do have to get out and share those posters with these breweries and give them all the other goodies
Yeah, we do.
that we're going to be.
And you have these handy postcards, which I will put on on the video.
And we've got our fancy
Coasters.
that'll be hopefully everywhere anyone goes to buy beer in the next 30 days, 60 days.
Right on.
And regular posters. So they have a nice package of goodies.
Yeah. This is something. This is a festival that has funded our operations for 23 out of the 25 years that this organization existed, and it's been very important for us moving forward. It's maybe I will have to record a separate video of all the things that we've accomplished as an organization. And we've had more success than some of our peers, some of our larger states. So again, we've had some things that helped all of our breweries. Generally, we've had a couple of bills that we passed that were immediately helpful to a handful of breweries, and then ended up being something that helped more and more breweries as we grew. We've had some things that will never sort of be celebrated because we avoided an interpretation of the law, and we negotiated with the liquor department to give us time to also negotiate with our stakeholders and get something clarified. We had to go back and basically get the people who opposed one of our bills to tell the state that they interpreted the change in the same way that we did, which is highly, highly unusual. They could have said, no, you're right. We don't like this, and really throw us over a barrel. And we've done some things that hopefully someone will look back 5 or 10 years from now and say, wow, that was really cool that we were able to do this.
There are so many things, and like we as industry and people as consumers take for granted because it has been 5 years or it's been 7 years or 10 years since we got that law change to make it work.
Yeah.
Number one is glass growlers.
Yeah. Okay.
You could only have glass growlers.
Right. Nobody's doing glass growlers anymore. But that's the only thing we could use.
That's the only thing we could use. And it had to have elastic tape.
Yes.
So we had to fix both those things. And people are like, oh, well, that's not a big deal. It is. It's just like getting any other law passed.
Right.
You have to get a law passed to say we can put beer in stainless steel growlers or ceramic or plastic or whatever they come up with next.
Or the aluminum growlers that are resealed and how those are different from packaged beers, and explaining all that and keeping everybody in their proper lane.
And imagine being in Florida.
Yeah.
Where you have to have only 64-ounce growlers or only 1 gallon growlers?
Yeah.
Something weird.
Yeah.
But we have so many opportunities here, and they didn't just happen. They happened because you worked to get it done.
And people came to our festivals, and it was easy for them to support us. So anyway, I think everyone understands. We'd love to see you out and about as well.
When you say seeing people out and about, were you trying to reference to this weekend?
Yeah. So we would have Black Friday things going on as long as I can remember. I mean, maybe not the first couple of years I've done this job, but it takes commitment. It was mostly me having to give up my Black Friday to be here at the office, get out and about. And I will get out and about, but you have plans. You're going out of state. So, maybe we'll do an in-office event again. It was one of the reasons why we moved to an office, is to do those kinds of things. But for this year, given we're just not that far away from when we couldn't travel at all, I don't think it's really a big deal for us to say we're not doing it for a while. We also, one of the things that went by the wayside is projecting how much merch we would sell over the past year, and we've had to cut that back. So, we don't have a lot of merch to sell to you right now. So for all those reasons,
doing Black Friday this year just doesn't make sense in the office.
Right. Also, we want to support our bars and breweries. So
yeah, getting people to put their feet into breweries is one of our main objectives.
And it's more so than ever. So that's what we encourage people doing. And if you decide to pass on tickets this year and you go out on Black Friday, it's a win for all of us. Still is. Because we exist for those businesses, those opportunities, those community places. So, I hope we have a good year this year. If we don't, we'll be fine. The organization will be fine. You and I will figure something out, but we'll be fine. If you haven't been in a while, I think it's worth going to. I always think it's worth going to. And again, you don't have to apologize that you can't make it this year or you didn't make it last year. If you believe in the cause, I know I'll see you
somewhere. Yeah.
somewhere, sometime for something that we do.
Right.
And that's all we need. Just don't want to lose the fact that these are the only festivals that directly support what we do. Barrels, Bottles, and Brews. Anything with our logo on it. Strong Beer are the two coming up.
Barrels, Bottles, and Brews, Arizona Strong Beer, Baja Beer Fest.
Right. Well, I'm just saying
Real
in
Wild
this
Woodsy,
quarter.
Wickenburg,
Yeah.
Arizona Craft Beer Awards. What else? We have more.
Let's just leave it at that.
Good
Let's just
enough.
say this quarter
Yeah.
coming up in next quarter. So, otherwise, we're going to have to fence all that Twisted Tea somehow. The world's greatest caper.
The Twisted Tea Beer Fest. Come on down. This weekend, I got to go to several events
Yes.
in the East Valley. And even though I had what I considered an over-aggressive calendar for Saturday,
You did.
it became more aggressive when it happened.
Okay. So I joined you for some of it, but we went our separate ways. And so you have a story, and I don't know what you completed on your projected mission.
All of them.
Okay. I also did something different that is in the same lines of what I just talked about. And I'll let you go first. But
Okay.
we met each other at
We both started at the Beer Research Institute's 9-year
yes.
anniversary.
Yes.
Come on. Hello, everybody. My name's Andrew. I'm the Deputy Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. And on behalf of our 100 Arizona small business brewery members, we would like to congratulate the Beer Research Institute on their 9-year anniversary.
What a party.
I'm older than them.
He's thinking that they're going to do a real big music festival for number 10. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah.
That may or may not happen.
Right.
But imagine how cool that would be.
They have a big parking lot.
We do.
They just have to get the
Management
property,
company to
yeah.
okay.
And
And I think they will.
they need to turn off their speakers because I don't know if you notice. I notice they just crank tunes in that parking lot. You notice
Oh,
that?
the property management company?
Yeah.
Great.
I know. I should just do a running log of the songs that I hear in both going
Parking
into the
lots.
Yeah.
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 Then
Well, we went there. We
went there.
We drank out of the cup with the
yeah, we had a great time.
some of the people. Mark LaRue
Yes.
was not there for the cup drinking.
Oh,
He took off. He went to the zoo to pet goats,
uh-huh.
and I still don't know the whole story. On that.
You got to prioritize, man.
and I'm just saying, like,
Either
sat next to him. We chatted for a while. He's like,
he spun some records for us.
yeah. And then he's like, I gotta go. I got a window. I'm gonna go. Come back. I gotta go pet goats. And if you've seen his,
Because he was starting his DJ time at 2.
yeah. So I don't know the story on it. Somebody knows the story. If you know the story, we're not talking about it. I want to talk to him about it someday
Yeah.
on this thing.
It's a big
I
fan.
don't know what the deal is. I think you know a little bit more about
I'm a
me.
big fan of that guy.
Yeah, me too. He wasn't there for the cup, drinking out of the cup. But
Right.
so we did that.
Yes.
I could throw the video up.
Matt, you should.
I will. Okay, we'll throw the video. If you're
Great.
a YouTube listener, you're just going to hear a little bit of that, or you're going to see and hear a little bit of that. If you're just on the audio, I don't know how much it's going to translate. I may put it in the audio or not. I'm not sure.
I did a nice speech, though.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
And then I went to, someone there said, did you know it was Cider Core's anniversary? And I said, what?
That's right.
So I felt obligated since our brothers in cider.
Yes.
And huge supporters of Guild events and just some of the hardest working, nicest people I know in the world.
Yes.
I want to celebrate with them too.
Yes. And I it's funny because like I had spent a lot of time in Mesa and I did go there in the days before. I went there
Yeah.
on Friday. Went everywhere on Friday as well down in Mesa. So
Yep.
I'm like, you can go.
Yeah.
I'll just have another. I'll have another beer here at BRI. And you know what happened?
What's that?
I sat in front of the guy making the Bloody Marys.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
you know what? You can't just make Bloody Marys in front of me. And
That
I
looks
can't
great.
have-
I bet.
and I enjoyed that. And I talked to Jenna and Greg.
Uh-huh.
They were getting tattoos. They asked me if I want to get a tattoo. I'm like, no, I'm okay. You didn't get a tattoo this year.
I did not get a tattoo this year for enough reasons to not worry about it. Other than, I mean, honestly,
It takes a while.
I had a very busy schedule.
Yes.
I did not have 4 hours to spend at the Beer Research Institute this time,
Okay.
like I normally do.
Right.
5, 6, 7, whatever.
Back to Cidercore.
Right. Went to Cider Core, and you know what that I had to drink there? A
Cider.
ginger, beet, and lime
How did
cider.
I miss the beat?
Yeah.
See, I just went and said I never passed that by.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because I went to every place on
In Mesa.
on a
Yeah.
weeknight.
And it got a little fuzzy.
I had to hand out coasters.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Juggling a lot of things, distracted. You said,
Yeah.
give me whatever's good.
I did.
That's what I said I said, I know what I want, but
Right.
Bonnie was in the restroom and I said, and pour me whatever's good for her.
Yeah.
As long as it's dry.
I ordered 3 small pours and then they ended up giving me 2 more. Which,
That's tradition for them.
yeah.
They're always very hospitable like that. They're like, oh,
Right.
they just listen to you talk and they're like, oh, you know what? You should try this. And
Exactly.
they just throw it to you.
They said, you just want to try them? I'm like, no, I want to pay for 2 or 3 samples or whatever. And then
Right.
then they just give you a bunch more.
Yeah. So kind.
Yeah.
Then
So what anniversary number is it for them?
5.
I think 5, yeah. Yikes. Hey,
They didn't have any special glassware.
no.
In fact, when we got there, Josh was just coming from doing some demo in the suite next to them. So that is a little bit of a spoiler alert.
Demolition.
They are going to
Not
be
demos.
expanding into the next suite.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Okay.
I guess.
They weren't doing like cider demonstrations. They were
No.
demoing.
Yes, they were using a
infrastructure.
jackhammer.
Okay.
And the word was it got very dusty, so he had to stop.
Yeah.
And everyone in the tap room was like, "What is happening? Are we on fire?" No, it's just some demo happening next door. So they were sealing it up with some black plastic and stuff like that at the time. But everyone was dressed up and in super great mood. And then, man, that place was packed.
Yeah.
Wow. And then we walked over to Phantom Fox.
Phantom Fox. Yes.
got
I
to
was
meet-
there.
Friday
Yes.
and Monday.
And Monday. Yes. Yes. And we, on Friday, we sealed the deal. They're officially members.
It's so exciting.
We did the toast too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're very
Someone
excited.
else actually said, "Oh, I got to watch that."
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Saturday. I forgot about that Friday.
And then I went to Papago Brewing Company.
And we reunited. And let me tell you, I was there earlier than you.
Yes.
And I ran into some of the guys at Crescent Crown.
Yes.
There was information relayed to me. What I'm going to save that for another time, that hot, juicy rumor. If you're familiar with Crescent Crown, you probably already got an invite to something for somebody who's leaving the industry, but let's save that nugget. Talk to Jim Lally was there. Jim Lally.
Jim Lally
was
and
there.
Carol.
Right. And Leroy.
Leroy was there. Yep.
He was a guy that would go to Papago and
Yeah.
all of the East Valley things, and his wife was there. But he's one of the original Papago. They call him the Sewing Circle. He was there, and now he's moved to downtown Phoenix. So you're more likely to run into him at Rent House and those kind of places. But
Kings.
yeah, a lot. And big supporter. Who else was there? Ray, who used to drive for ABC.
Oh yeah.
He was there. Trying to remember if there's anybody else. There's probably a few other folks. We were only there shortly, so
Yeah. I think.
they had Belgian beers, And Belgian food.
It was Belgian Fest.
Yes. And I'm sure they have a few of those beers still on.
Yeah.
So be a good time to grab some of those. They had several American versions. I think that Tombstone had a Potter's beer. The New Belgian
Creek
had a Creek. They had La Terroir. They had
1554. I have the list.
Oh, okay. They had La Folie. I had a Petrus cranberry sour beer. You handed me a beer. Was at the St. Bernardus? What did you give me?
What I had the Chimay Blue.
Chimay Blue. Okay, yeah. So I had that. People were drinking the cherry quad from Petrus. They said it tasted like eating a chocolate cherry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bonnie had the Saison. It said Saison de Saison, but I don't
Silly Saison.
Silly Saison, yeah.
Yeah. When I was sitting at the table, Jim Lally was just raving about the Scotch de Silly Brewing Company. They had a charcuterie plate. They had so I always thought it was Degarre, Garre. It is a place that I went to in Belgium. It is super small place. They contract out their Tripel with who is it? It's the same people who made Oud Zippers for Papago. Why can't I think of the name of it? It's anyway. You can't usually get that here. It's a 12% triple. And it's
one thing I noticed
creamy.
was very high ABVs on all these beers.
It's super creamy. And if you've ever been to, so I always thought it was Degarre, but Jackie told me, who was there too, and her husband, they say it's pronounced Dehar.
Oh,
So I don't
Jackie
know.
Jacoby
Yeah.
and Alan?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
They were there. We talked about mead for a while.
Yeah.
But they had been there recently. I had been there recently, and I said, "Hey, I don't know." He told me, I said, the last time I was there, hey, I was here 15 years ago. Do you remember me or whatever it was? And it wasn't 15. It was a long time. He's like, "Yes, of course." Very, very dry Belgian. Anyway, he's like, "Well, if you're gonna see me again, you better be sooner, because I guess that land is probably going to be resold." He's not going to be there in 2 years or less. And so if you know about that place, it is time to get back there to go to it. That is
Degarre.
Yeah. And I said, "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" He's like, "Well,
I'm tired.
yeah. Yeah." So anyway, they had that. It's the same brewery that does Triple Carmelite. Why can't I remember the name of the brewery? What's going on here? Anyway, they had those beers. It's very exciting. They had the Belgian stew served in a bread bowl.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I should have had. So
Yeah.
good. Looked so good.
it was good.
Then we moved on. I moved on
Yeah.
to Gypsy Cactus.
Yes. They had an anniversary too.
They did. That was their 5? I don't remember. I mean, I know I got it right in our Facebook posts.
Right.
So Gypsy Cactus, they were just so great. And they had a nice busy tap room that day. And the thing is, we went early. We're the old people. So I know after 5 o'clock, there's going to be a lot more action. There's going to be more reps showing up and people doing things.
Right.
We were early. We were home by 6.
Yeah.
And I'm not even done with my journey.
Oh my.
Then we went to Tap Dragon.
Tap Dragon. That was their second
2-year
trip.
anniversary, correct?
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 2 years already.
Yeah.
I just remember them being under construction, and now the building next to them is done being under construction. So I guess that timeline all works out.
Right.
I ran into a whole bunch of the fine people from Crescent Crown over there.
Yeah.
Mark was there, and Gilberto was there, and a whole bunch of people.
Mark Sullivan.
Yeah,
Yes. And I guess Gilbert is moving over to Lagunitas. By
That's
the
true.
year. Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
And then what next?
Well, I know you want me to say. Then I went to the 10th anniversary of Shopper Supply. I did,
He did.
but not until I stopped at Old Chicago to get food.
Yes.
And
Chicago. Now
while
there's-
we're waiting for our food, I walked over and got a haircut.
Oh, okay.
Nice,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I know. Pretty sharp. I like this one. Then we went to Shopper Supply
Uh-huh.
and I got new pants.
Right on.
They're green.
I have green pants also. I'm glad I
Very
didn't wear the
thrilled
green
about
pants.
them. Love them.
Yeah.
Then we went home and that was the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I left Papago, and by the way, everyone was like, everywhere I went the whole week, Friday, Saturday, where's your wife? Where's your wife? She was starting to feel like she was getting a cold. And then, so she didn't go out Friday. And by the way, I ended up going to Chiwas Casino Chiwas, the same people who do Tacos Chiwas.
Okay.
Much higher end. Like they have a $120 tomahawk steak on the menu. Not everything is that expensive, but I did only have time and
So
wallet
interesting.
for. So I had some Mexican street corn, elote. I just ordered off the shared plates menu. Pulpo, which is octopus. It was served, in a circle, semicircle, and then the other side were these cut potatoes,
Wow.
crispy on the outside, just like potato coins, but super crispy just on the skin on the outside, and this wonderful sauce in the middle. And I had, what did I have? I had a beer. It was an Arizona beer. Don't recall now. They had a few of those, but I ran into the what is his name? Adam from the Chestnut Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was there with his wife and we
Cool.
talked for a little bit. Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah, but that was kind of late. I didn't want to forget that. I've been doing these sort of like restaurant things lately, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because this is the time to get in all those culinary experiences in because the holidays are going to be tough on restaurants.
Right.
As we come back, then all of a sudden things get put on pause.
It
for
gets slow
holidays.
again in December, and January sucks, and then February gets busy, and March is busy, and April's busy. But there's those downturns are so tough.
But anyway, Saturday when I left Papago, Brenda was under the weather. The neighborhood adjacent to us, which is where Tom and Jill live, they were doing a bike crawl, and I said, "Well, maybe I'll intercept you." And I look on my phone, and like the front door thing's going off all the time. I'm like, camera, and I look out, and like Brenda's doing yard work. I'm like, busted her. I'm like,
Hey,
we're-
sicko.
We're getting on bikes, and we met the Mill Avenue. This could be the Maple Ash group, Tempe. We met them at Yucca, had a beer there.
Oh, that's right over here.
Yeah, Yucca Tap Room.
How nice.
And I said, if I would have been thinking about it, I would have brought you over to our office and drank some beer here. I didn't bring my keys with me. But anyway, we went to Monkey Pants and Time Out Lounge. A couple of dive-ear bars that just don't get to very much. So it was good to do that and, drink, support some of our Arizona beers and some of these local places because, I think one of the things people used to ask me, and they should still ask me, by the way, like, how can I best support breweries? And they expect me to say, go to this brewery because, they in particular really need your business. And it's not always something that It's
They
not.
think we're very aware of things that we're not aware of.
Well,
too.
and you know, I look at it as like, look within yourself, look at it within your neighborhood. And I was always the opinion, like, go to places you can walk to. Like if the fuel line supply gasoline things shut down, or which, you know, it's been close to happening a few times, right? The California pipeline shuts down. They can't do the right formulation of gas, or it's too, whatever. Like, just go to things you can walk to. And all three of those places are places that I can walk to and support.
How nice for you.
Right. And, you know, haven't been in there in a while, so it was good to go there and remember what I liked.
What's it like living in a city? Must be nice.
Can walk to them, but I also said, like, you know,
I can walk nowhere.
You know,
I can bike ride a lot of places though.
I also during the pandemic got a lot of my stuff dry cleaned, even though I didn't need dry cleaning, but I did need some of my professional shirts and suits things freshened up. And we lost that camera, so we probably should just end this thing, right? We just lost that camera 3 times. Thank you, Nikon, for shutting down again. Not happy. Anyway, we should probably end that, right?
We'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
You can use some B-roll to cover up this
maybe.
video, do some other. I mean, we took a lot of great pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot.
Oh, at all the various things?
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Rob, I'm glad you had a great weekend.
Yeah.
And thank you again for 10 years of serving the Arizona beer community.
All right.
A better steward could not have been had.
I appreciate you saying those things.
Yeah.
And I look forward to continuing to work with you because you are also the man.
Thank you.
All right. Sometimes the beer finds you.
And it's not a beer podcast, it's a podcast about beer. Boom.